meditators. And then afterwards I'd come out and walk out and then have the short conversation with him. And he commented to the news interviewer afterwards. He said he's filmed the backs of many, many people. He's never seen a group
So sorry. Thank
you. Before sitting so still and silently. And the person said, they're a group of meditators. That's why. Keep meditating. It's good for stillness and silence. All right. So altogether, we have 90 minutes together. We have just had a short meditation. The meditation purpose is to really remind us of the value and the power, in fact, of connecting and reconnecting with the living present. That still provides opportunity, and it's vital to have the time in our life for some reflection. What can I learn from the past? What insights can come? What way can I benefit or get inspiration with regard to the past? And similarly, with regard to what might be or will be in the future. This body of teachings doesn't give emphasis in any exaggerated way to the living present. It is not, and I repeat, it is not all about being in the present. It's certainly a very valuable contribution, but we can have much discovery in our relationship to what was and what will or might be, and therefore the three fields of time truly matter in this teaching. Yesterday, with the privilege of speaking to you, primarily focused on states of mind, and the three that I made reference to, problematic ones. One is fear, one is blame, and the other is indecision. And how these three areas easily have an influence, an unfortunate influence, on our perceptions of ourselves and our perceptions of others, and sometimes of life itself. So the impressions which have been formed in the past are unresolved. They, as it were, any time can arise in the present, fear, blame, indecision, as well as others. And it's certainly quite a challenge for us to really note quickly and early as possible, this is fear, this is blame, this is indecision. And therefore the first step is in naming the problem, naming the issue, rather than just getting caught up and lost in it. Sometimes for some people, the view can arise, it's a reaction to the reaction, please take note, it's a reaction to the reaction, and in reaction to the reaction, it will go into generalizations. I'm so full of fear. I'm always blaming and attacking myself. I can never make my mind up. This is a reaction to the old there. You will not be able to persuade yourself of saying, oh, I should let it go. This letting go has become the mantra for everything. So sometimes what is vital for us to be really appreciative and to be able to acknowledge, what are the times when I'm not experiencing fear? What are the times when I'm not in blame? What are the times when I'm not decisive? And keeping that alive and recognizing that will make a significant contribution to the fear, to the blame, to the decisiveness of saying, aha, this is, quote the Buddha now, dependently arising. Conditions have come, it's generated pressure inside the human being, it's landed in the present, and it's affecting our life. We can be free of it. In this period of time with you this afternoon, I would like to put it into 3 or 4 areas, if I may. One, speak a little bit about the theme, some small groups, And the chair is here, as yesterday, for anyone who may wish to come, and this person and I then share a voice together, whatever you might wish to speak about. With the period of time, today is a bit more focused on the outer. And we have a lot of questioning to do in terms of our relationship to the outer. And this is what I'd like to speak of there. I hear, I'm like you, I listen, like probably most of you, go to the coffee shop, hang out with the friends, you talk here, etc. And there are various problematic mantras which arise. I call them mantras because they're monotonously repeating themselves. And one of them is, I'm so busy. My life is so full. I've got so much to do. Frankly, it's an ego trip there. And we have persuaded ourselves of this view. And then we say, well, I'd really like to do something good in the world, to give support to give an action to, but I don't have the time. This is called a lame excuse. And what that means, it's going to take some reflection, because we believe in it with insistence. We have persuaded people come to Christopher and say, Christopher, you're so busy. I have made a refusal in my inner life to not use the word work, because people say, oh gosh, you work so hard, Christopher. W-O-R-K. I don't think I've used it. When did I last use it? Maybe when I'm 23? I think I'm 81 now. Keeping these charged words out of consciousness itself is quite awakening and freeing by not using these words there. So what that means in practical terms is, if you want to be of service to others, I know many of you are already, but if you want to be of service of others, or you want to generate more time, to others means people, others means creatures, others means the environment, what are you prepared to drop, cut, reduce in your life? What are you prepared to give up? What are you prepared to spend less time on in order that space can arise, so something beautiful can arise out of you there? Because if we don't offer, if we don't give, why complain about those who control the narrative? Why complain about them? I received 2 days ago from a beloved friend, and he's very, very troubled, of course, by the Middle East. And he, from the Jewish community, he thinks it's an absolute tragedy and nightmare what is taking place upon the people in Gaza and also the West Bank as well. And he says, it's so much coming in, I don't know what to do. And I just feel, it's understandable, I need to be able to just take time out, because there's so many different voices which are around. Again, one can understand that. The difficulty is, from the human experience, that it's a little bit like, as a metaphor here, the tendency to breathe in too much and there is no breathing out. Do you understand the metaphor? We take in too much, we can't do anything, we feel paralyzed, so then we contract and we have to, understandably, take a break from. Sometimes it's easier in life to face a challenge head on, which is called, in this case, breathing out, doing something, giving something back. Sometimes it's easier than that, than the contraction. You have to know yourself, where you are in relationship to receiving, and the relationship to giving, and the relationship to time out. These are profound questions. Because somehow the human being, we have to find ways and means to give more time to. And because the daily life, to repeat, is so full of stuff. To take one example, sometimes you do a little bit of research. The mobile phone, it's an addiction. The characteristic of an addiction is one can't go without it. It's no different from alcohol, drugs, and anything else. One can't go without it. One can't go out from one's home without it. One can't go out to being here without it, or whatever. That addiction, roughly, the figures do vary a little bit. On average person is spending 4 to 5 hours a day on the mobile phone. Supposing that was dropped, supposing it was cut down to an hour, then one's got time for something else. Just one change, one ending, in this case, of one addiction. These teachings, Dharma teachings, has frequently the word discipline. That's the word that gets used. The Pali word isn't discipline in that way that most of us rebel against. What it actually means is turning one's attention to that which is significant. Turning one's attention to that which is significant. And therefore, our meditations, our mindfulness, and our awareness is saying, what do I need to cut the time? What do I need to do less of in order to generate the space so I can contribute to this planet which is in desperate need of people to be able to offer something? Otherwise, we are sunk. And our children and our grandchildren and future generations are sunk because we're addicted, and in one of those objects is to the phone. It's not easy. In the exploration of this as well, all I'm trying to keep directly practical and supportive for you as much as possible. If you're a human being and you notice in your awareness in your daily life that when the conversations come up, and my God, I hope there are plenty going on here. It's an awakening event after all. That there are real conversations about your relationship to life, your relationship to the future, what needs to change in regard to the past is weaved in while you're having your meals. It's weaved in the communications. It's got to be vital, otherwise awakening gets forgotten and one is back to sleeping. All right. So in that exploration there of the change that takes place, one of the tragedies, in my view, was COVID. Not only because of the devastating medical, the virus, the impact that it had, not only on the horrendous corruption there, but also on the isolation and the loneliness of the lockdown. And I've listened to people who, during and afterwards, struggled with the lockdown. Some, of course, loved it and appreciated it in an odd sort of way. The point I'm coming to this is, if you are alone, there's not much you can do, except complain. If you're alone, there's not much you can do, but feel worry and fear about. If you're alone, you might be thinking about, should do something, I can't do something. Human beings change not through the individual action. That's a whole another number of ego. Human beings change, and it's been the case, and it will always be the case, through the collective. And it's the collective meeting together, like is taking place here, and talking about these things with a view to what can I do. And I'm just going to quote the Buddha precisely on this. He said, we human beings, we are known by the wisdom of action. We are known by our action. The wise are known by their action, and the foolish, which is almost a soft word for something else I could say, and the foolish are known by their action. And therefore, the communication together in the explanation, if you're not connected with the group, you're wasting your time. And I don't mean a small group, a narrow group, a spiritual group, a Buddhist group or whatever. I'm talking about a group who are concerned and active, because we get knowledge from these people, we learn from them, we get inspiration of them. So then comes the question, are you willing to give up one evening a week to go and connect with the group? Are you willing to join a demonstration? Are you willing to send out an invitation and encourage people to meet? What's your primary areas of interest? So then something from the being, the human being, expands itself, and that expansion of itself begins to connect with others. You don't have to be a guru or a teacher or whatever. You're just a person like myself on this earth who will not shut up and who will encourage and connect with and give support to and make things happen. And it's the grassroots, that's you and me. It's the grassroots that are going to change events. No use complaining about these idiots in power. They are lost. They're living in their own narrow, small world. I personally do not have any confidence in them. Show me the evidence to have confidence. I can't see it. Maybe you're more clear than me, but I can't see it. But I can see the evidence for people who are campaigning, who are working, who are exploring, who are meeting together, who are making things happen in all sorts of ways. And it doesn't have to be political. It could be through the arts. Plenty of wonderful artists around here. It could be through the parents and connecting with the children and support. It could be talking to people in your workplace. Give you a story with my daughter. My daughter is not only my daughter, but she's also my best friend. We talk every day on the phone. She received, just to watch the response. Sometimes we listen, we just see what the response is. This is the story. A few months ago, she received a letter. She runs a wellbeing centre in Hertfordshire. Currently, she's organising an event, a fundraising event, and getting all the teachers in her centre to offer freely. People will come and they'll donate, and the centre will double whatever is received, and it will go to support the families in Gaza. Here's the story. True story. She received a letter. Dear Nishona, we would like to invite you to come to our corporation to give a one-day program from 10 till 4 for 150 of our HR people. You understand HR? Human resources. In India, it's regarded as suspicious if it rains during an event. I'm trying to remember that. And so she received the letter on formal paper, and she looked up, because it was just the letters of the company there, and they invited her to bring 6 co-teachers and then to have a meeting, blah, blah, blah. She received it. Do you know who the letter was from? Of course you don't. UK's second biggest ballistic missile company. So my daughter rang me up. Dad, I've just received this. It had the letters of the company at the top. No mention of ballistic missiles. There. And I've just checked. Yes, online, it's with the address. What shall I do? What would you do? My response, first words out of my mouth were, if they invited me, they wouldn't invite me. I mean, no chance. But if they had invited me, I said to use the metaphor, I would have been in there like a rocket. My God, I would have been in there. So I said, you've got to be transparent. So she had a meeting with the boss of the HR, 150 people, you know, these corporations. I mean, they're seeing on the television, night after night, the ballistic missiles or the parts flying out of Israel, and in 10 minutes, 5 minutes, 3 minutes, we're in Gaza, and they know that. Can you imagine working in that environment? And in that, I said, you've got to be transparent. So she said to them immediately, to the HR boss, I just want to make you inform this. I do not support war. I do not support weapon manufacturing. I do not support the destruction of life. And last Saturday, I was in a major demonstration in London to stop the launching of missiles into Gaza. Now you have to make a decision. To her surprise, she said, oh, I better go to the board, to the top. To the surprise, she said, they contacted her by email and said, we will still keep the invitation. So, to finish the story, the first meeting was 150 people, and then the 6 assistant teachers, one was drama and another was arts and drawing, all to look at stress and relationships. I said, sweetheart, what did you speak about in the first talk? She said, Dad, ethics and non-violence. That's my daughter. Well, wonderful. Bless her. Absolutely. Right. Go and meet the devil in the face and just talk and state and be transparent about it. Sometimes there's an opportunity in life to contribute, to take risks, to see what we can offer. My local parish priest, Anglican minister, you know, the church is orthodox. You know, it had its conventions, it's got its traditions. There one doesn't put one's head above the parapet too much, because you're an Anglican priest, you've got to look after your old pensioners. Last Saturday, where was he? He was in London from Titmuss. What was he doing? He was there in his black uniform with the dog's collar around his neck, there, and a friend sent a photograph of him, and he's lying horizontal there, giving support in the protest about labelling Action for Palestine as a terrorist group. And he got arrested. And, oh, Anglican priest being arrested. Wow, that was in the media, that was on the BBC, etc. Just doing something, even though it goes against the kind of conservative conventions of his own faith. What are we going against? Where is our voice? Who are we connecting with? What ways can we show our concern? Can we be bold? And it's those questions which are so vital, and we may not know what we can do. But I tell you what, if you're with others exploring the same thing, something will come up, people get together, and those of you who know a little bit about history and some of the revolutions that took place in Europe, unfortunately, in my view, many worthwhile, but the revolutions didn't accompany the inner revolution, the ending of fear, the ending of blame, the insignificance of ethics and compassion, of wisdom. That wasn't accompanied. So the revolutions tended to get into a real mess. But where did they take place? Most of them in coffee shops. Coffee shops have been a long-standing seat for revolution. I thoroughly recommend them, and some of us in Totnes plot the downfall of the British government. And then all the others that go along with it as well.
That's why they always do takeaway then.
Hey?
It's why they always do takeaway now.
Yeah.
So we
Good,
don't sit and talk.
good point. Very good. All right. So we're not going to do a takeaway. We're going to do a take-in and talk. So it's just ideas, locations, people, places, initiative, in a whole variety of ways. And there's something quite enlivening about that. Perhaps you're parents, perhaps you're a single parent. You know, my daughter, Nishoni, she mother of 4 kids, 3 of them still around there, and she's. Some of you women will appreciate this. The last person, she ended the relationship a few years ago, and I said, not easy. Single mum now, 4 kids at home, in social housing, mixed race, not easy. Those of you know these situations, not easy. And said, and now your husband is gone. And she said, no, Dad, it's not like how you think. It's important. Not like how you think. She said, before I was a single mum with 5 kids. Sharp. Some of you will know this well. So sometimes some situations look, oh dear, from one side, but the other person she's not thinking like that. And something moves inside. We need to be able to listen to those with precious stories of ways, fresh ways of looking, which have some boldness to it, some fearlessness to it, and some action to it. Because we draw on that. We're human beings. Sometimes, just finally, time's going. Sometimes in these situations, we are too modest for our own good. And that's what I love about the Buddha Dharma. I'm obviously a huge fan here. And what the recognition is of the huge human potential. We're not learning, hopefully, to accept, sometimes I'm angry, and sometimes I'm fearful, and sometimes I'm indecisive. Dharma teachings go right down to the very toenails of our DNA. We can wake up from all of it. We don't have to live this way. The potential of a human being to really free up the being, which is the freeing up of love, as I mentioned yesterday, and service and connection, we really can do it. Never underestimate the extraordinary potential of human beings. And that potential is with you, and you, and you, and you, and you, and you. If I've missed anybody out, apologies. You and you. And even those of you who might be half asleep over there, you and you and you, etc. There. Never to underestimate human capacity with the human being. Okay, so summary. Connect with others. Find out who the like-minded are. Ask yourself, what do I need to reduce or to let go of to generate the space there? What gives me renewal? The arts can give you renewal. Meditation can give you renewal. Being out in the nature can be, coming to green awakening can give you renewal. Use all the resources for the renewal. So out in the renewal, we can breathe in all the shit that's going on in this mad world. We're big enough, we can handle it. And we can find that space inside, which is called liberation in everyday language, there, to allow something beautiful to emerge out. We breathe in and we breathe out, we breathe in, breathe out. And we know that between the in-breath and the out-breath, there is a space. There's a silent place. There's a quiet place. Remember that when you're breathing in and breathing out. What are you breathing in? What are you breathing out? All right, enough. A couple of quiet minutes together. and then I'm going to have a rest, and you're going to do some sharing together right here and now. Okay, let's have a minute or two of quiet, of the silence. Thank you. So, in this period of time, I'd like you to form into groups of 5 today. And I'll just give a minute or two for the rough guideline. Firstly, with the guidelines, one is everybody has a voice. So nobody or no one or two people dominate the group. There's bad enough with Christopher dominating the last 25 minutes or so. So in the group, the sharing. And with that, there's themes. So no metaphysics, that means no theory, no abstractions, no talking about the government, no talking about all the problems of the world. They are too big in the mind. We want to be down to earth, grassroots, down to earth. Down to earth might be. Is there anything that you sense needs some change in your life to make the space? One. Secondly, is there anything which you are engaged in currently which is of service to others already? Name it. Tell the people in your group what that is. Is there anything which you feel would give you the support to take some steps, to take some initiative? Any areas that you have a particular area of interest in? So, what's contributing to space? Anything you are doing currently? What is that? Anything which moves you to respond? All those kind of are the points. So, if one person, I'll let you know in about 20 minutes or so, when the time is over, and if one person in the group or collectively, just keep an eye on for the beloved speaker who knows when to start, but doesn't quite know when to stop. So a kind word, so everybody has a voice there.
Coming together to bring these questions.
Yeah. The appreciation was for a group of men sitting and talking and sharing together. And sometimes it's just necessary to create an opportunity for this. It just takes one person with a few friends or sign up. I had some years ago a men's group in Titmuss and inspired by the women's group. And one of the agreements that the women's group, in terms of connecting with the earth and giving back, they agreed to go onto Dartmoor and have a small ritual on Dartmoor and take a piece of jewellery which they valued and put it back into the earth. Yeah, as a letting go, as a sharing, as an offering, etc. So one of the women told me about this. So I then had the men's group. And in the men's group, let's all let go and give up something and give it to the charity shop. And as something which one values. And immediately out of my mind came a particular book to let go of and give up, which I loved there. And I spent the next 2 or 3 days, I don't really want to give this book up, etc. But I knew that had to be done, just to give there. And sometimes it's just the joy in the letting go, and perhaps even more because of the resistance that was before. Sometimes we just engage in these steps, and sharing is a precious one, and I quite agree we need, as men I'm talking now, to do much more of this. Thank you for the good reminder. Yeah. All right. Anyone else? Yes, sir.
I thought you were going to say your ministry was going to go up onto Dartmoor and dig up jewelry.
That would be a typical patriarchal response, I agree. Sorry. Right. We're just approaching the end at this time. I know with our guardian angel over there, who's been looking after the sound system for us, that there is a group following on. So what I'd like to do is just give a short summary, and then let's have a loving kindness meditation, a guided loving kindness meditation for the last few minutes. What, good till 4? Is that right? Oh. Because I heard today it was 1.5, but 2 hours it is. Hallelujah. Allah is merciful. Huh? So if you want to stay, I'll go, whatever. So given the opportunity, I would like to make good use of the chair here. There's the microphone here. And it is an invitation to anyone who might wish to come to share a little bit, ask myself some questions. We'll have a dialogue together, and remembering that in the act of listening, which is a meditation and a practice in itself, learning in life just to be steady and calm, listen to the voice, in this case 2 voices, and the calmness not only for our benefit, but sometimes it will contribute to an extra receptivity. There may be something which is said which is of value, maybe something said which makes one feel uneasy. Both is fine. And out of that, we're listening inwardly at the same time as listening outwardly. And therefore, there's an invitation. Anyone who would like to come and to take a seat here is very welcome. Whatever you wish to share and talk about. Yes, please come. Yes.
Yeah, I was interested in...
Can you hear okay? Is it...
Move this a bit closer. Is that better?
Yeah.
That is working, isn't it? No, yesterday afternoon I was working with the fear and anger and indecision, and which I kind of had some resistance to, and I've got some, and I got some value out of it. And you used the phrase about cultivating the mind of decision making.
Yes.
And I was musing on that in the night, and what came up for me was that how I interpret that is cultivating the will. That was what came up for me.
Yeah, fine.
And where I'm going to is a bit of a place of, oh, I'm a failure if I don't make definite decisions. Like, for instance, you know, I have an addiction to sugar and stodge. So I have phases of eating, you know, cakes and biscuits, and I have other phases where I don't. And it'd be kind of nice if I just said, if I had a clear, you know, I'm not going to do that anymore. But it feels kinder to myself to just have a journey of awareness with it. To just notice, oh, at the moment I'm eating a lot of sugar. It may be bad for my long-term health, as far as I'm aware it isn't. But, you know, so it's kind of a dialogue with...
Yeah.
I'm just curious to hear your response to that.
Sure.
So I'm responding to what you suggested.
Yeah. And the 2 points that I heard just now. One is with regard to the indecision, and as you mentioned yesterday, as I mentioned yesterday, and you responded there, we can give ourselves a hard time for being indecisive or with anything else. So therefore, there's a development in the small steps of the ordinary and everyday of making steps where we feel there is a purpose to the steps, going from A to B. One is quite clear, I need to go and have a piss, and one is walking firmly and clearly in that direction or in other directions. And that is a development for the power of mind, for the will, if you like, as you said, in a certain way, in order that when some indecision comes up there, you've got a background of training which is, now this is the time to be decisive. And if you know that neither choice of indecision is harmful, it's definitely not harmful, before even thinking more about it, you go ahead and do it. Whatever, you just go ahead. With food, and food which, the processed, the ultra-processed, the fats and the sugars and all the other, I don't think the willpower will do it. It might last, and all the kind of diets that are on offer, I'm not very confident in it, and that's based on talking with hundreds, thousands probably, over many years with this. That which is unhealthy is reduced in terms of the addiction and the interest by the increase of love in the healthy. If your love in healthy food, which is close to the original, if that is developing, the interest in that which is you sense is not good for you or whatever, that will be minimal in comparison to the love. And therefore, food which is, to repeat, close to the original, and tasting it and chewing it and swallowing it and a little reflection on the farmers, the people who brought it to you, the shop that you went to, and all the people that worked, long chain of people there, just to have an apple in front of you. And that kind of focus, the rest will get reduced, because the happiness and love of the natural will be much more nourishing than the other. And then the other will be in perspective. Can you do it?
Can I do it?
Yeah. Meaning,
Yeah.
not say I should there or it's only for a while or whatever, but actually give the priority in another direction for the real nourishment that food can give us.
I think what I'm talking about is that, I have a very extremely vicious inner critic. So I set myself up to do stuff, and the practice, through the practice, I'm cultivating more connection with compassion.
All right.
To be gentle with myself, but I realise this is an inner dialogue.
Yeah.
Like all conversation is actually an inner dialogue with myself, between being gentle with myself and going, hang on, this is what I want. It would be really good to be decisive here.
To keep out the word compassion, it's a big charged word. Then it sets up a lot of high expectations which are unreasonable. More. In the fierce critic, listen a little bit more. Could one listen and catch and notice the softer voice? If you've got a hard voice, deeper will be the softer voice. And it's just finding ways there to listen to the soft voice. That may come out in your speech, it may come out in your thought, it may come out in your writing, it may come out in your sense of well-being. Okay.
Oh,
enough.
absolutely. I mean, that's my
Thank you.
experience. You know, I'm
Gonna call,
quicker.
because I've got shortage of time,
Yeah.
and I want others to come.
Yeah, thank you.
All right.
Thank
good.
you.
Thank you. Said with a soft voice, by the way. Have a quiet minute and then another invitation. Yes, another person who may wish to come and take the seat. Welcome. Yes, please come.
To be perfectly frank, my wife told me I have to come and do this, so I don't have a question, but I have a very small observation about letting go. Which
Yes.
something happened to me, and maybe you will. It's a jumping off point for you to go from
Right.
there. So, at the start of June, my wife took.
By the way, is she in the hall?
She is in the room.
Oh, okay.
My wife was leading a tour group around northern India, and I went with. And we went to Dharamsala, and we're climbing halfway up in the foothills of the Himalayas, and a Buddhist monk, Tibetan Buddhist monk, just comes out of the forest. And in one hand he's got a walking stick, and in the other he's got a toilet roll, and he's just been through poo.
Yeah.
And he walks up to me, hands me the stick, thankfully, and goes and sits down and looks out at the view. So I stand there with this beautiful old walking stick. It must be at least as old as me. So mates sort of thing, and the tour group are taking photos, and I'm posing. And then, okay, it's time for us to move on, so I go to him. He's still looking out, admiring the view, and I hand him back the stick. He's not even looking at me or listening to me. Eventually I have to tap him on the shoulder. He looks around and he goes, "Oh." And his friend said, no, it's for you. And the feeling I got was that he let go of this thing, which he'd probably had for 50 years, in an instant, and was surprised to see it back, being offered back to him. His letting go was so incredible, whereas I, 3 months later, cannot let go of this damn story.
You do. Why would you want to let go of the story, sir?
No, it's a great story, right?
Yeah. I mean, if you keep telling it to your wife, you might try to let go.
Well, the stick's sitting in the lounge now.
Right.
So anyway, that's
Yes.
just for you.
So, does anything arise for you as we talk where you have a stick as a metaphor to immediately let go of or not think about?
Oh, everything. Yeah.
Okay, just name one.
Okay.
Your wife is the witness.
Okay. Regret over decisions made or decisions not made.
Okay. What? So there's kind of two choices there. What specifically would be the regret over, either made or not made?
I mean, I could give many specifics, but I just say no to opportunities.
Pardon?
Saying no to opportunities, saying no to help, saying no to offers.
So you're receiving a message from the other, and you say no. Or
yeah, I'm at that stage in life where I've got enough years to look back and go, why didn't I?
Mm-hmm.
And those can be hard to let go of.
Yeah, sure. So there's the memory, and then there's the question, i.e. the past. Why didn't I? Whatever. And then the lesson learned in the present would be, in the present, where something is valuable and healthy and useful and skillful, do you now have the authority inside to say yes?
I have the wisdom to say yes, but the authority is sometimes not there.
All right.
I'm aware that saying yes, it's not just the right thing to do, but it's okay to say yes. It's okay
All
to
right.
let help out.
Okay, so there's the receptivity, but wouldn't that be it's okay to let it happen? Isn't that both wisdom, in your case, and authority? You have authority. Yes, it's okay.
Sure. I don't need to wait for permission. It's true. I can give myself that
All
permission.
right.
But of course, one grows up in a permission structured sort of society where I'm waiting for somebody to say, yes, go and do it.
All right. So in this case, could you give me an example? If anything arises recently where you received an invitation, where in the past you might have said no to, and now you're saying yes, it's okay, and that authority is speaking, and the person could hear it. Give me an example.
No, I can't. I'm terribly sorry.
That's all right. Okay.
My mind's gone blank.
All right.
As often does.
It may.
Yeah, the minute I walk out.
Yeah,
I'll be
exactly, of course.
screaming.
It's not easy to speak freely, comfortably, when you've got somebody like me interrogating you, and you've got a group of people listening as well.
Yeah, I'm not paying. If this was my therapy, I'd be all over it. But
Yeah, I'm not a therapist.
it's free, so it doesn't.
Thank God I'm not a therapist. I can do as I like. All right, so nothing comes to mind at the moment.
Not.
No.
Sorry, I'm sure somebody else may have.
You had the authority.
In my shoes,
All
maybe
right.
thinking, well, that's me too.
I'm
Somebody else
going
wants
to
take
give
my
you.
place.
I'm going to give you an example.
Okay.
You were sitting over there a few
Yeah.
moments ago. You got off your ass. You walked over here, and you had the authority to walk over and say, "Yes, I want to sit here."
Yes, well, like I said, my opening line was my wife told me to come and sit here. So
You've got
you're right and I'm right.
Yeah, right. All right.
It's a great example.
But all right then. Okay, we're going to double it. Your wife said to you, "You're the wife, are you?" Yeah, you got the biggest smile in the room. So. and so you listened to your wife, and then you said yes to your wife, and that yes got you off your backside and got you here.
There was another reason, Christopher, and it was because no one else did, and I'm one of those people that we don't want all of this. So okay. But
you're watering it down.
Okay.
Yeah,
Sorry.
yeah. In doing this, there may be 5 minutes, 10 minutes, nobody moves. I don't care. I like the silence.
Yes.
So they come when they come.
It's true. It's you. All right. Okay.
Okay. Thank
Thank
you
you
very
very
much. Quiet minute. And another sharing. Yes, anyone, please, keeping in mind diversity, gender balance, etc. Anyone would like to come? Yes, please come. You comfortable there? You're right.
I think I am
All right.
at the moment, so may not be a little way down the line. So, no, I'd like to explore with you a bit more about the idea of grappling or
Of what?
grappling or
Grappling.
mitigating
Mitigating.
indecision.
Can you explain a little bit about the grappling, the mitigating? What do you have in mind here?
I think sometimes indecision comes through too many options being available,
Right.
and also not necessarily having a firm direction.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. So, with the options available, where are the options themselves coming from? When you think of options, I mean, is it social media? Is it conversations with your friends? Is it memories? Is it lots of different things generating the appearance of options? What comes to mind for you?
I think it's circumstances, different circumstances that are there that it's trying to make something work with the circumstances that you find yourself in. So they may have arisen because of what has happened to you in the past, but and a combination of what is there presently as
Yes.
well.
Could it be, so this open question here, could it be that having and knowing the variety of options is a kind of protection from doing anything, acting decisively, unwaveringly, and without any, and taking the risk? So we can think about the options, but it safeguards us from the action until something works out. Do you need to be more bold?
That could be a basis of it, but also maybe embarking on too many things
Right.
at one time.
Okay, so is it the too many things in the spectrum of the options? And you say, well, I'll try this and try that. And so you're reducing them down, but still it's in this movement of the options. How about taking the bull by the horns? You've got a number of options. In a way, they're all okay. This is what is presented to you. You focus, you concentrate, you take out one, and you run with it. And you just see where it goes. Means what?
It means that actually, under certain circumstances, you can do that.
Yeah.
So
I can do that.
I could. Thank you. So recently we went on a peace walk
Yes.
from Oxford to London
Lifestyle.
to end up at the Big Arms Fair there.
Beautiful.
And nothing else could be done during that time. That was
No.
it. I hardly looked at social media or anything really,
No.
except for what was pertinent to that.
Yes, all right. Right. So is that saying more peace marches for you?
Sorry.
Is that saying more peace marches? Nothing else could be done at that time. What could be better than do a peace march? So maybe you just need to do more peace marches. What could be better? I couldn't agree more.
Yes.
Yes.
Except that at some point those peace marches, or even peach marches, need to expand or find another direction themselves. So they are of a limited period.
Yeah, sure.
And then
I agree.
beyond
Of
that,
course, yeah.
how do you work with that? And
Yeah.
then there are other interests that come in. Yeah.
So, I mean, I really appreciate the noble efforts of walking from Oxford to London and all that's implied. But it could be that the creativity for you then would, outside of the march, would focus on peace in some way or other. And what other creative ways can you give all of us a reminder about the value of peace? And you say, okay, the walk gives lots of authority, you have lots of experience, and outside of it, other creative ways to work for peace. And you say, okay, as we got a reminder a little bit earlier on, the value on really focusing and concentrating in one or two primary areas and see what can emerge out of that.
Thank you.
All right, okay, thank you.